Alright, so this is an interesting video. By the way, if you hear rain in the background, it's raining like hell outside, but I like being outside right now because the temperature is good. So we're outside with it once again. By the way, huge shout out to everyone that's watched and tuned into my recent video, which was Saitama versus Omni-Man. It's doing incredibly well. If you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. And if you haven't subscribed yet and you like content like this, please consider subscribing, turning on the notification bell, hitting the like button. All that really helps out my channel. And at the end, I'll talk about my membership as well. But today, we are addressing a hot topic because a trailer just dropped, right? The trailer to Venom 2 featuring Carnage just dropped, and it is popping on YouTube, right? It's got hella views. So this is my first react. No, I'm just kidding. I haven't even seen it yet. I don't want to see the trailer because I honestly want to be surprised going into the movie because I'm really excited for Woody to play Carnage. Woody's one of my favorite actors. I just think whenever he plays a role like that, specifically a crazy role, he kills it. He just owns it completely. So I'm super excited to get just a fresh, non-spoiled chance to look at him. But what I am going to do, because I've had a bunch of requests, is I'm going to just briefly go over the history and background of Venom and Carnage, why it matters, what should happen according to comics, and how things could play out accordingly. So with that being said, let's begin. First thing we're going to do, go over Venom. Technically, Venom has belonged to several characters throughout comic book history. For the movies, of course, it belongs to Tom Hardy's version of Brock, Eddie Brock, and typically Venom, it's interesting, when I was a kid, right, Venom was portrayed in a negative light because he was an op to Spider-Man. It was well known that was Spider-Man's op, right? But over the years, due to the anti-villain roles he's played, literally with stuff like Anti-Venom, shit like that, Agent Venom, the reputation's changed, and it's interesting, but it's still, regardless, we need to address his original character's feats in the comics, right? So he's one of the strongest in Spider-Man's rogue gallery, which is not full of slouches. He's actually threatened to fold Sandman before. When he encountered Sandman, he started absorbing him and then ran him off the block. The webbing that he uses is strong enough to bind and hold down Spider-Man, which is pretty impressive. Spider-Man is strong enough to one-shot humans casually. If he's not holding back, he can fight Kingpin, Kraven, knock around Kraven, avoid all the X-Men, scale to the X-Men, be able to fight them, Cap, Wolverine, all that. Spider-Man has great scaling, yet Venom's webbing easily held him down. He also has incredible stealth and invisibility hacks. He's able, because of the symbiote, he's able to shift and alter his structure and allow himself to camouflage, even being able to sneak up and get the drop on the likes of Wolverine. A character whose senses are so OP, he once smelled someone because he didn't smell. Bars. He also has tentacle-like abilities with the symbiote that he can use to randomly attack foes. He's done so to the likes of even Wolverine, casually picking up Wolverine, stabbing him dozens of times, and impaling him through a wall. It was horrible. Does Wolverine job? Don't worry about it. We're still using it for good scaling. He also, in terms of durability, really scales high in regeneration factor. In the first Venom movie, they did a good job showing Venom heals and can just tank shit, because the symbiote truly can adapt and heal and just stitch everything back up. He's taken mortal injuries, stabs to the brain, the chest, impalement, getting blown up, everything, and still can come back and regen. He's constantly portrayed, at least in terms of combat, as being either relative to Spider-Man in speed or arguably superior in speed, which is pretty impressive because, like I said, Spider-Man's fast enough to dodge the entire X-Men roster by himself and get away from them before they could tag him. His reflexes and processing speed are even more extreme than his regular speed, and I think it's easy to attribute this to him using the symbiote, having an alien being be able to process shit for him and allow him to operate accordingly. He consistently is able to fight outside of his tier. Outside of his regular, quote, normal power bracket, he usually functions well because he knows how to use his durability and hacks to get around certain differences in AP. Now, we got Venom out the way. Let's talk about what Carnage brings to the table. Now, Cletus Cassidy is a goon among goons, and if you want an individual power scaling video on either of these characters, comment down below, and if it gets a sugar ton of likes on the comment, I'll consider doing it. But Cletus Cassidy, I believe he was locked up with your boy Venom. Venom lost a bit of his symbiote. The symbiote merged with Cletus. Cletus was a raging psychopath, serial killer type, already locked up, obviously. Perfectly blended with the symbiote. The symbiote just had an infatuation with his ability to commit heinous acts and his joy to commit violence. And ever since they merged, Cletus Cassidy, aka Carnage, has been wreaking havoc throughout Marvel. Now, in terms of strength, despite technically being the son of Venom, his pure power from merging so perfectly has allowed him to absolutely ragdoll Venom. Like, literally just grab him and throw his ass from building to building like he's a child's toy. He's also has dealt with Spider-Man and Venom at the same time, zero difficulty. Both characters have tried to jump him because while, you know, Venom's not typically seen as good, Carnage is way worse in basically every scenario compared to Venom. So it was inevitable that Spider-Man and Venom would converge upon him. By the way, that's what I want to see in a movie, is those two versus Carnage. But anyways, they attacked him. He had no issue ragdolling them physically at the same time. His symbiote is also strong enough to pull him out of dimensional portals. This actually occurred versus Cloak and Dagger. When he was being pulled into the dimension, he said, "Bro, that's nothing compared to my symbiote," and pulled himself out. It was ridiculous, but it is a pretty cool feat that not many people talk about. He also battled young Nova, Sam Alexander, gave him a good fight, tanked a lot of his attacks, and also ragdolled him. This is impressive because this very same Sam was able to battle and spar with Beta Ray Bill, who's able to evenly fight with Thor. Carnage has held his own against Venom tier symbiotes at one time, like a whole bunch of them. This includes the normal Venom joining in the battle at one point. So he was able to hold off all of them at the same time, proving just once more that he is above average when it comes to the symbiote game. He's also survived, like I mentioned before, fighting Nova, which includes taking several Nova Blast point blank and surviving regenning as well. And speaking of his regen, he specifically stated in the older comics that he has the capability and the propensity to regen from something as little as a single drop of blood. So, if these two characters were to clash, what would happen? What would we expect based on the comics? Obviously, if you can't tell by now, Carnage is used to getting his way against Venom in fights, right? He's done it before. He's basically, because of the connection, has been portrayed as stronger historically than Venom, and he's been able to beat him. But Venom is typically smarter, and Venom has a good track record outside of fighting Carnage of doing great against stronger foes. Now, in terms of the movie version, what would I have to say without seeing the trailer? I would hope Carnage is still stronger than Venom. It obviously makes sense if he was. And he should just like beat him in a straight up fight. But I'd imagine because he's a veteran now with the symbiote and he's had it longer, they'll play upon that for Hardy's character. So there you have it. Carnage historically takes it in the comics. No surprise here. Should take it again if they were to match up. And in the movies, he should take it again. But something's going to happen. Tell me below in the comment section. What do you think in the movies they're going to have happen to have Carnage lose? Or is Carnage going to bolo him, which would be comedy? Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. It's been your boy YFV. And if you're interested in my content, like what I do, like my videos and all that, check out my membership. I'm having an 80% off. You get the main deal on YouTube that I think is currently posted for 50 plus. You get that for only $10 if you go through Cash App or PayPal. Just simply comment down below. I'll get in touch with you and we'll talk about it. Thank you guys for watching. It's been your boy YFE, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.